All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. It's John from Pro Craps here on Casino Gaming TV. Happy to have you all for another new week of hopefully fun and exciting stuff. So look at this. We got Chris from On Point On Point Craps is here. How you doing, man? It's been a long time since I've seen you, Mike. It's been a while. I know you got back last week. You said, "Hey, I'm back doing things." Are you doing videos again or not? I'm not sure. I also see Chris here. And another Chris, there's two Chris's here. Good to see y'all. Chris from Texas Dicer and Chris from Dice DGen. And we got Dice Dr. Dan with us this morning. And of course, Kev from Cajun Craps. I'm behind too, man. I'm behind too. I'm not watching Young Sheldon, but we binge watched this weekend the whole season of Survivor, a whole season of Will Trent. And by the way, if you like detective cop shows, Will Trent's pretty good. Network TV kind of sucks, but Will Trent is actually a really good show. So we're digging that one a little bit. We binge watched a lot this weekend. A lot of football this weekend. Oh my God, the football. We'll talk about that in a minute, man. I had like the worst football weekend of my life, except for Alabama winning. I was rooting for Alabama, but everybody else shit the bed, man. Like I needed Michigan to lose, and of course, I hate Michigan, right? I'm a Michigan State guy, right? I needed Michigan to lose. Michigan wins. Could have used a UW loss too. I'm not a UW fan. My daughter goes to Washington State. My wife went to Washington State. So University of Washington's like our enemy. They won against freaking Oregon. Although I will say this, UW, that quarterback is legit. I wouldn't mind having him on the Seahawks. That guy can freaking play. But man, it's like watching like the two teams I probably hate the most, UW and Michigan, both win. Was brutal this weekend. The good news is that Michigan and UW aren't playing each other. I thought they were going to be matched up in the Rose Bowl. I think Ed Robinson said, "Oh God, it's going to be a Rose Bowl of those two." But luckily, I get to root for Texas and Alabama to beat Michigan and UW. So let's go Horns, right? Let's go Horns. Let's go Bama. Roll Tide. Get it done. And yeah, the Eagles really shit the bed. The Seahawks shit the bed this week. It's been just a bad football weekend. So, oh my God. Brian's here. Good morning, Brian. I haven't seen you in a while. I was on your show last week to say hi, but yeah, I don't get around as often as I ought to anymore. But anyway, let's get into it. Here we go. Let's jump into the show here. And I'm actually going to go back a screen because I got to tell you about the cruise, right? I've got 3 or 4 of you lined up. I'm getting your information put into the system now. If you've already wrote me, the Harmony of the Seas Dice Cruise 3. This is with myself, Don Wood, Michael Feldman, Howard Rock and Roller, leaving out of Galveston, Texas in April. It's a 7-day cruise going to Honduras and Mexico. It's going to be a lot of dice playing, obviously. Howard's going to run some sessions with us on tossing. Of course, I'll be there for those sessions as well. We'll talk betting. We'll talk all the things. It's going to be like whenever the casino's closed, we're on those tables. Plus all the whiskey you can handle, right? And beautiful weather. It'll be April down south. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it. So if you want to go, there's my number, 702-518-6442. Just drop me a text or a phone call, and I'll get you into our system and see what we can do for you in terms of getting your rooms comped. If you don't have cruise comps, because you're like me and new to cruising, it's going to be based on your old play. So we'll need to get your Caesars card, your station cards, and we'll kind of run you through the system. And the cruises will do a pretty good job of honoring your play at land-based casinos to get you some comp play. So let's talk about that if you want to. Now, moving ahead. Couple of announcements here. One is for those of you who have WinCraps, and raise your hand in chat. If you're a WinCraps person in chat, just say WinCraps. Just drop me a WinCraps in chat. I'm one of them. I know Darksider plays some WinCraps, and I know a couple other people play some. Did I say Auburn? I meant Alabama. That was dumb. If you want to do the WinCraps thing, so WinCraps has just released a network version. It's beta testing it. So what that means is, a lot like Crapsy, I can drop a WinCraps table out there and send you guys a code, I think. And with the code, you can jump onto my table. I'm not sure how that works yet, but there's a way for you to jump onto my WinCraps table. So if you use WinCraps, you can bet 4 or 5, up to 8 people at a time on the table with their bets all in the right spots and everything else. WinCraps will let us all bet together on the same table so we can see each other's bets in real time. It's kind of what Crapsy V2 wants to do. But WinCraps is sort of more made for this piece of it, where it's a full table, right? So Steam is going to let us do like team play stuff, like 4 against 4, 2 against 2, that kind of thing on the Windcrafts table. So if you want to play with me and help me beta test this, I see Chris is out there, Dustin's out there, cool. Darksider, I think, might take part in this with us, and I think somebody else said they would too. Let's get like 5 or 6 of us out there and get on a table, and I'll roll dice on my real table, and I'll plug the numbers in, and let's try betting it. Let's try betting in real time, 5 or 6 of us at the same time, and see how it feels to see each other's bets, if you know where things are and that kind of thing. So that's going to be awesome. I think Dursa, you might be a Windcrafts guy too. Dan is oh, this is great. Drop me a Discord DM, guys. If you want to be on the Windcrafts beta, just DM me on Discord, and I'll send your information over to Steam, and Steam will get you set up with a free account to help beta test it. That's going to be great. Cool. That's awesome. I'm psyched about this. We can work on this maybe this week, over the weekend a little bit, and kind of get some practicing in, and see how it's going to handle a higher load, and how that feels compared to Crapsy in terms of like team versus team play. This is going to set us up for the Craps League at some point. All right. The next thing is, well, actually, I'll talk about the new chopper first. Just so you all know, I've been throwing the chopper now for what, 1.5 years in front of you, and I got pretty good at it. I got really good at the way that I've taught myself how to throw it, but the way I've taught myself how to throw it's wrong. So when working with Gargoyle, who's the teacher of this toss, and he's changed everything. Like, my grip is different. I'll even show it to you. Where's my dice? I'll pull the dirty whites out for you guys. My old grip was this. It was on the cut edges, just my middle finger and about halfway down. So I would grab it like right about at the halfway point like this, middle finger on the points. And when I threw it, I would turn and flick, right? Now what I'm doing is this, check this out. It's the middle finger still, but all the way down, and my first finger on the flat edge like that. All 4 fingers faced out. So basically I'm gripping it like this. So my fingers will eventually become straight. I'm still learning that piece of it, but now it's a 3-fingered grip. It's flat edge here, if you can see it, flat edge plus the cut edge. So looking like this, and all 4 fingers out. And it's that, and my hand is pre-turned. And when I throw it, it's a much later throw. It's a little bit janky. It's a little bit janky in terms of, I'm not used to the velocity yet, but I'm getting there. Mike says it's wrong. It's wrong in terms of the goal of that toss. Like, the goal of the way I was throwing it before was to put a lot of spin on it, so it would kind of like skip off the table, zing off the back walls, and keep going. This one is much more of a way to reduce the velocity by a lot. Like, it's when they spin in the air, it's one time around in the air. Mine were spinning like this. This is one time around and super soft, and it's a whole different toss. This is more of a what Gargoyle calls this more of a helicopter shot, because it kind of takes off and lands like a helicopter. Mine was more of a frisbee skipper toss. Mine was more of a spinner skipper. Both are valid tosses, by the way. The way I used to throw it, I could see that still being of use on a super hard table. I can still see it working. Like, sometimes you got to change your stuff, and it's good to have something to go to change. But this way here is the legit correct way. So I'm working my ass off right now to get 10,000 throws in of doing it the new, quote unquote, new correct way for me. So if you see some haphazard crap in my show in the morning, that's why. I'm learning a new toss, and it's going to be a mess for a little bit. But now they don't kiss anymore, Waylon. So with the new grip, this fingers down on the front grip, that helps them separate. It keeps them under control a lot. I'm having much more success with that. I'm just not good with the launch yet. It's more of a when you're off the table, off the deck, it's more of a up motion than an out motion. And that's hard to get used to, but that's the secret to it. And that's what Gargoyle's working on with me. And he will share some of that with us later up. They're not kissing as of last night. They're kissing a little bit, but this new grip helps them separate, and I get a lot more reliability there. So I'm just not reliable with the velocity yet. We'll get it. What else is happening? Situational play phase 3 starts today. We'll talk about that. But there's 2 big show announcements coming up. Ed, Gargoyle, Heavy, and Jeff are coming up on the 5th, which is tomorrow, I think, doing a Tales from the Table kind of thing with Gargoyle and Heavy and Ed. It's like the superstar panel. So lock in for all the questions on that. I'm sure they're going to swap a lot of stories, which should be super fun. I can't wait for that one. And I've gotten to know Gargoyle relatively well over the last month or so, and Heavy and I've been emailing a lot, and he seems like I interviewed him last year, but haven't had a chance to talk to him this year. He's a great dude, and I'm looking forward to kind of hanging out with him and getting some of his classes in as well, because he's just one of these fountains of knowledge and crap. So also John and John, guess what? We had Garrison on the on Craps for the Cure. And again, it's a good segment, right? I think Garrison has been playing for a long time, and he's got a lot to add. Not everybody loves him. That's okay, right? We don't have to love everybody. But he knows what a big fan I am of John Patrick. I told you before, I grew up watching John Patrick videos from when I was 15 years old. That's how I learned how to play all the games. My dad taught me blackjack. Patrick taught me everything else. And on the videos on his closed circuit, whatever you call it, channel in Jersey. Well, he's doing a Christmas special. Garrison is on his channel, where he brings John Patrick on with the on the phone, and he's invited me on that show. So I get to actually ask Patrick a couple of questions live and talk to him a little bit. It should be really cool. John Patrick, by the way, is like 93, and he's in failing health, and what a chance to get to talk to a legend. So I'm looking forward to that big time. I've also got an interview that I filmed with Michael Shackelford that I'm going to be releasing pretty soon too. We interviewed before the Craps for the Cure, so I'll put that interview out there as well this week, so you'll see it there. Yeah, there it is. That's all the stuff that's happening. So I think tomorrow night, Ed, Gargoyle, Heavy, Jeff tomorrow night, me, Garrison, John Patrick later in the week, maybe early next week. We'll see what the date is going to be. It's going to be great. I can't wait for it. I can't wait to talk. Just honest to God, if I just say hi to him and he says hi, John, back, that'll like make my year. Gonna be cool. I'll just be like a star-studded teenager again. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be very cool. I have a lot. If you have questions for Patrick, you want me to ask away. But I got a whole slate of stuff I want to pick his brain on. So that's cool. Anyway, let's move ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about the Storm. I changed it a little bit this morning because the way that I was playing it before was not a paycheck. The original Storm was designed by Chris and by Greg for the right side player to get out of the hand quick and go after the monster long rolls. It was designed to catch a long roll safely. The idea was, let's have the bets up in the box. Let's have a big don't pass with odds to cover that. Couple of rolls in, you're playing 64 across for free. That was the idea. And then you wait it out, right? You try it, you catch a long run, and you're a hero. Trying for a paycheck, that's a really hard way to play. The paycheck, right? My biggest thing with the paycheck is I want to be out quick. I don't want to be there for long. I feel like time is your big enemy. And when you're doing paycheck play, just getting that 10%, 15, 20%, you can't be out there very long. You can't be out there for 100 rolls. And the old Storm was making me be out there for way too long. And it lost twice in the first week, which is not good. So the adjustments that we made are this. It's a simple adjustment. We're going to stay at the same levels, right? $50 and don't, 180 in odds, 204 across. 50 for one, right? But now, instead of pulling the bets down, we're going to stay at level. So it's 50 for one 3 times. That's 150 into the rack, okay? As you're doing that, you're bringing down your odds. So your don't pass goes from don't pass plus 180, don't pass plus 120, don't pass plus 60, just the don't pass. So by the third hit, you would have 150 in your rack and a $50 don't. If you pull your box numbers down and place the don't, you're locking in $200 in profit. Okay, not quite a paycheck, but damn close to it. You can leave it up there. One more hit brings back 50. Then you do the don't pass lock, and you're at your 250. That's what I did on the last shooter. That's exactly what I did. I did 4 hits and I was out and done. It's much less time, and as you're reducing those odds down, the effect of getting whacked on a buckshot is a little less. It lessens every single time. The fact where on the third hit, if it happens, you only lose $10. So I've reduced the risk overall, it's only the first couple of rolls where that buckshot will hurt you. Everything else, you're good. The 7, you're in profit the whole time. And again, to me, that's just a better way to do it for a paycheck. It's 4 hits and you're done. I never go down. Like if I get the buckshotted, so what? Go back out there, same level, do 3 again. Just keep rocking 3 hits up there until you get it done. Let's see how it works. I did it over the weekend at 2 different levels and it worked out for me. Today I played it. We got our paycheck and I put the bets back out there and said, look, let's pretend we weren't playing paycheck. Let's pretend we were just doing it for real. I'm going to show you today on this table here what that looks like in practice. So Storm V2, calling it Johnny Storm, which is my OnlyFans name, Johnny Storm. So that's what we're calling it. It'll be a fun one for us. All right, what's next? We're talking about 3-phase play all week, right? First week we did getting out. The Storm is a way to get out, right? Getting out in 2 or 3 rolls, so you're playing for free. This is for the guys that want to play home run style, okay? This is what I'm talking to you. First couple of rolls, we're getting out of the hand. We've done a bunch of ways to do it. The Loggerman, the squeeze play, the skill 66, the same bet, right? What I'm doing now, the Storm. All these ways to get yourself playing for free with a small lock even, right? Then a couple of rolls. Last week, we worked on all these different ways to get up. After that, first 2-3 rolls, take the next 2-3 rolls and just lock in a profit. Same betting, by the way, is a great way to do that. Same betting just works, right? You can switch to come betting, you can do other things, but to me, a same betting is a great way to just sit there and lock in. But here's the deal. Once you're locked and you're at roll 6, okay, now granted, some people will have bet heavier than you and they have pressed already and they're going to be ahead of you in the roll. You can't let that fear of missing out be a thing for you. But at roll 6, if you've gotten out of the hand and you've locked up a profit, whatever the profit is for your shooter, now it's time to get rolling. Now it's time to really go off and play for the home run. So I want to explore this week some ways to play for a home run. And today we're going to start off with a thing I call target practice. Now, this one, I've done this with you before 2 or 3 times. Jeremy from Color Up just did a video on this the other day, which reminded me, we got to talk about this again because this is kind of a cool way to do it. You know, a big thing that we discovered when we did the 51 roller that we broke down was a lot of the strategies made a lot of money, but they also left a ton of money out there, right? Made $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, but left $3,200 on the felt, which is kind of painful. What if you just got to your target and just sat there and was okay with collecting your money, right? There's no shame in that either. And I want to show you what I mean by that. Let's head over to our table here and look at what target practice looks like. And I think this is kind of an interesting way to sort of think about this. So check it out. Let's go set up the Storm. And I'm going to set up, not the Storm itself, but I'm going to set you up with where it would be, okay? So here we go. Let's say that it worked out. The Storm works out. And we got our, we're going to be here. We're going to be at, I'll get all the bets set. Let's say the point was 4. It doesn't matter what the point is, but let's just call it a 4 for now. And we're out here, and you've got 169 out here. There we go. I'm sorry, one. How much is that again? 125, 150, 175, 179. 179. Sorry, 179 out there. Everything pays 50 for 1. If the Storm had worked, right? What you would have, my new version of it, you would have had. You'd be here. You'd have 50 for 1, 3 times in your rack, right? And you'd be here. You'd have 200, 300, or sorry, 300, 450 bucks, right? Plus this. This right here becomes your profit. This is where you're sitting at this point. Now, we talked last week about what does it look like to hedge the point, right? So you're locking in. I don't care about that so much. What I do care about is this. Once you're at a point where you're at some level, and again, the Storm aside, okay, let's just say you want to be here, okay, and this is 204 across, and let's say this is a profit play. Let's say you've already collected, and you're back in your rack, and you get your whole starting bankroll recovered from your earlier play, and let's say that you've got somehow, some way, you locked up an extra $100. okay? And here you are. Starting bankrolls back. You have $100 in your rack because your phase 1 and phase 2 play worked out perfectly. And you're like, okay, great. I got some profit. I have 204 in action. What do I do here? Well, the easiest thing to do from this point forward is to, oh, I know. Let's get the white dice just to trigger you guys. Get the white dice out. And you can sit here and just collect all day long. There's no shame in sitting here and collecting $50 on every single roll, okay? Just take $50 every time. If you remember that 51 roller that we had, right? The 51 roller had 28 box, I remember the numbers, 28 box numbers, all right? 28 box numbers rolled in that roll. And again, from roll 6 forward, from hit number 6 forward, that's 22 box hits. 22 times $50 is $1,100, okay? If you just sat there and just pulled $50 in every single time, you would have brought $1,100 in off the table, left 204 out there, and big deal, right? Not bad, right? That's not anything to be ashamed of. Same betting at $50 every time is all good. But you can take this and be a tiny bit aggressive with it and either be half aggressive or full aggressive. What I mean by that is this. I just rolled a 9, okay? 2 options here. One option is go to $50 and take 35 back. So instead of taking 50 for 1, right? Take the 50 for 1, but make it look like 50 now, and take $35 back. On the next hit of the 9 that pays $70, okay? You can do 75 for 5, make it look like 75. Now I've got $80 in the rack from the 9, and from this point forward, 105, 105, 105 all day long. Just racking black chips from this point forward. And again, same betting the black all day. You can do it in 2 hits. Or when I'm here at 50 for 1, I can just take back the $10 and go right to 75. And on the first, from that point forward, although I didn't get the whole full 50 in my rack, I took just $10 in. Black chip, black chip, black chip, black chip all day long. The 4 of the 10 hit, that pays 50. Stack it and rack it. Guess what? That pays $50. 50 for 2 every single time. 50, 50, 50, or I'm sorry, $100. 100 for 2. Boom, all day long. Racking black chips all day long. Take the first hit of a number, hammer it up. 6 and 8, same thing. They're at 42, they pay $50, right? Take the $2 back and a quarter, go to 90. Right? Again, the first one you're going to kind of waste. Again, after you're even, you've already got your profit lock, right? So you're okay at this point. Get it right to 90, and now 105, 105, 105, 105. In that 50-something roller, right? $105 on these box numbers, 22 box hits at $105 is $2,000, right? A little over $2,000. And at the end, what are you going to burn? This is 480. Or 430 across. It's not a big deal. Burning 480 is not a big deal. If you brought back $2,500 and you burned 1,100 out here or 2,000, you're going to feel sick to your stomach. A lot of people do, right? So this is a way to just get out quickly, and or not get out quickly, but get up quickly and start racking profits. Let's see how it works out. I've got, let's just say we're on the point of 4. Where's our puck? We're on the point of 4. Okay. I've got 204 across. I've got my bankroll back and $100 locked. Okay. What does it feel like to maybe rack black chips? Okay. The 8 pays, that's 50 for 1. Okay. We're going to take our $2 back and go to 90 with it. We can just avoid big red for a minute, right? We kept set ourselves up here to make some okay money by targeting a number. Again, that's going to pay 50 for 1. I'll take the $10 back and make it look like 75. We're going to be very aggressive here. Let's start getting black chips as fast as we can. Because obviously a monster roll comes, you don't know it. There's 2 horn numbers in a row, which sucks. Big waste of damn time. There's a 6, but we're going to just hit every number once, right? 50 for 1, take the $2, looks like 90. I got to take that dollar out of the rack, by the way. Now I have three numbers set up for it. There's an 8. All right, cool. That pays 105. And something else to think, there's a black chip in the rack over there. That's awesome. Remember this too, right? When I collecting black chips, I had 204 out there, right? So I want you to, if I can catch another one, we'll talk about this. Please let me get one. That's a 9. Shit. All right. So 50 for 1. It looks like 75. Now I'm 330 inside, by the way. Give me one more hit. Ah, damn it. To 7. If we would have had one more, and the reason why I say one more is important, that would have been another black chip, which would have been $210, which would have meant the 204 that we had out there, not only was it already paid for, but now it's really paid for. Like that covers all that. And then it's a who cares play. But as it is, we brought back an extra $100 into the rack, and we have 200 and whatever dollars that we can walk with, right? Again, same betting at the black chip level. I'm okay with target practice, right? Get yourself to a target and same bet. Waylon will tell you in chat, right? You don't have to press all the time. Collecting money is not a bad thing, right? Especially when the collections are meaningful. I like meaningful collections. Let's go back here. Same simulation. Let's do it again. The same simulation, okay? $100 in lock, 204 across. Let's get our new point. New point will be 10 here. And here we are. We're playing for free, but we're going to target practice. We're going to try and get these bets to the point where they can collect black chips for us. That was an 8. We're just going to go on the black chip parade. 50 for 1. Get it to 90. Now I could slow roll that too, right? I could have done this. We were at 42, right? I could have just taken this back and gone to 60 with it and brought back a little bit. And the next hit, which pays 70, at that point, go here, right? And I would have brought back, in those 2 hits, I would have brought back 50, 60, 72 instead of 105. So this cost me $30 to do it this way, but you're racking every time. I would rather just have you see it just go up right away. If you're already in who cares town, right, playing with that FU money, then play with it. There's an 11. There's an 8. Perfect. It pays 105. The same bet it. We'll put all the collections over here. We'll just keep the money on this side. 105. There's a 9 that pays 50 for 1. There it is. It goes to 75. Give me a black chip on the 9. Here's the 4, which is great. That pays $50 for 1. Okay. Make it look like 50 and take a green chip back to the rack. There's a 10, which is the point, but again, it pays $50. We'll rack and stack. Next point is a 4. Bummer, we weren't working them right. I think Waylon's got a point here, right? Work the 4 and 10, but nothing else will come out, so it's not a bad call. There's a 5. That pays 50 for 1. I'm going to take a nickel, get some change for that. It goes to 75. So now we have the whole, well, except for the 6. The insides are ready to go. Need some black chips in there, right? There's a 6. Jeez, Lou, 50 for 1 again, but we're not getting any repeats. We'll take the $2 back. And look where we got to. Just FYI, we are right now at 430 across, right? We're at 330 inside and 50 and 50. We're 430 across, okay? So we've taken our 204 and doubled it. You could bring all this back and walk with 430 plus 100 and 170. So 430 plus 70 is 500, 600 bucks in profit right there. You could walk with that. Or you could say, screw it, I'm already in profit. Let's just rack some blacks here, right? There's 105 coming in, right? 105. And the worst case scenario is that we 7 out. There's a 4 that pays 100 for 2. Another black chip, puck is off. Worst case scenario here on the 7, there's a 7 on the come out, is you walk with 300 and change, right? The worst case that you have money out here, it's never going to get higher than this. The worst you're going to lose is that 430, right? If you're going to play this nice and soft, look at another black chip. $100 for 2 on the 4 and 10. Puck is off. Right, what's the worst that can happen? There's a 7 come out. Boy, the come out 7s are saving our bacon here, aren't they? Another one come out 7. There's 2 in a row. Another 10. Boy, 3 10s and 3 7s there in pretty quick succession. Yeah, you're not going to have that weird fear of missing out or that weird pain in your stomach because you're at this level where you're like, oh, I'm going to lose $2,000 on the table. No, your 430 is what you're going to lose. And I've already brought back 430 out there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 550, 580. I have 580 in the rack. I've already got $100 more in the rack from the play than I got out there, right? Who cares now? This is even a point where you could bump them a little bit. You want to go up by a quarter for each of them or whatever? Fine. That's $105, right? 105. I could be convinced to do this, go to 150 with it now, and now this is going to be 175 and the same bet that 3 or 4 times, right? I've already collected $500 and maybe one little tiny bump. We can keep the roll going. There's a midnight. That might be the tall. Another midnight. Look at my table with the repeaters. 1, 2, 3. I think we're the aces away from the all. A 9. All right. And that pays 105, right? $105. We can make the 9 look like 1 1/4, right? Again, now we're going to try and get the insides to go to all same bet, 175 each once. All right. Another midnight. But yeah, nothing wrong with even just sitting there, again, sitting there the whole time. Taking black chips. And there's another black chip for the 4, right? We can bring that black chip in, make the 4 go to 75, so it brings back 150, and let that thing go. There's the 7. Not a bad little run, and that's all that you need. You know what I mean? We're not sitting out here with $2,000 on the table, having pressed everything like a crazy person. We're walking out of here with a purple chip. We already had 100 locked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500, 600, 700, and $50. Plus the one you locked earlier, 850. Out for $1,000 on about a 15 roller. Just same betting, right? We got them to level. Our target level was something that pays us a black chip, stayed at target, and never looked back, right? Didn't really press a little tiny bit once we already double up the money, and that's kind of a thing. That's a fun way to play. And that can work anywhere, right? If you get yourself to 64 across, that same system, that same mindset can work. Again, at the small player level, watch what I'm gonna do here. The small player level, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Watch this. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get some white chips in my rack just so I can do the ones. Let's have a new point. And I'll work it here at the more human size level, right? There's the 9. 64 across. We're gonna make our target here. Watch. 10's gonna pay $18. Okay. I'm gonna make this look like $15, and that's it. We're gonna take back the rest. $15 on the 4. And you watch what I'm doing here. And again, don't be greedy. This is like the anti-greedy home run play, right? If we can catch some runs here, there's a 6 that's gonna pay $14. All right, we can take it to 24. Take back our $2. Let them sit there. Both those bets are going to sit there. Watch this. 24 pays 28. I'm going to do 30 for 2 for a minute. And now my target is a green chip. My target here, when I started out at $10, my target's green chips. I'll sit here and be perfectly happy to collect green chips on you all day long, right? Again, your target can be whatever your bankroll allows your target to be. There's an aces and an ace deuce. I think we're gonna rock the small here, baby. Can we do it? There's an 8. So just like the 6, the first one's got to be a full press. You got to get up there. $24. I need to get these whites back in the bank because the bank is low on whites. Okay. Start collecting green chips. There's a 6. That's perfect. Okay, $28. We'll do 30 for 2. Just collecting green chips all day. Nothing wrong with starting out with 64 bucks and collecting green chips all day long. You don't have to sit here and press to the ceiling, right? Getting to a target level. I want to get green, 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 green in my rack. Fine. Make it so all your bets pay in green. The 5 and 9, the same thing. Get them to 20 bucks so they make 28 and to sit there and rack your greens all day long. It's not wrong to same bet. I said this last week. Maybe a single unit press after that if you want to do that. But to me, getting yourself to a level, right? Targeting a payment amount, green, black, purple even. If you want to be a huge player and target purple payments, good. Nothing wrong with same betting that and letting that thing just roll in and taking your target pay back to your rack. I'll never, ever put you down for that. Some people will, I never will. Some people will say you're leaving money out there. You know, I say you're leaving less money out here and bringing more money back, especially when this is a meaningful number. If $25 is meaningful to you, you bought them for 300 bucks, $25 is a meaningful amount. It's okay to target a quarter and rack quarters all day long. It's okay to target blacks and rack blacks all day long. You don't have to get your 8 to table max. You know, some people need that rush. Some people need that income. I would say this, if you worked hard enough to get even, to get a little tiny bit up, that $100 in profit, and you can get to a target like a quarter or a black or a purple and just live there, live there. It's okay to live there. Those big rolls aren't going to come very often, but I'll tell you what, collecting 5 quarters or 6 quarters or 7 quarters or 5 or 6 or 7 blacks before that big red comes, that is not bad. That is not bad at all. So that's my advice on this one. Target practice is not a bad thing to do. I haven't seen chat yet, so if you have thoughts on this, yeah, JR, press like a maniac. Doers are maniacs, right? They all press like maniacs. You know, I hate to say it like this. I see a monster roll almost every time I go to the casino. Almost every time I go, somebody goes off on a roll, on a 20 plus, and monster being 20 plus rolls, right? Almost every time you see it. Almost none of those times am I on it early enough, or I'm so far behind sometimes when it comes that I'm either too aggressive on it or not aggressive enough on it. I forget sometimes to do this. I forget sometimes to get myself to the level and just rack the green. Rack green, 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 green. And not worry about going, you know, 80 or 60 and getting my presses in. And before you know it, you're racking red chips and you got 105 out there and the 7 comes, right? There's no shame in racking greens all day. There's no shame, of course, in racking blacks all day long. Get your bets to a meaningful level and just target it, man. It's okay, right? Yeah, 10 collections for 50, man. You're 500 bucks in profit, right? Then you can go, sure. And I would do next level, right? If I'm catching 50 for 1 10 times and the guy's still shooting it, guess what? Now I'm going up a level and I'm trying to get black chips. And then if I get them all one more time, I'll go up again. Let's try and get purples. Like you can tier that up at each time, but there's no law that says you have to go on the 6 and 8 from 30 to 60 to 150. You don't have to do that. Can, but you don't have to. Collecting meaningful chips all the time, to me, is good. I think that's okay. And I'm more often than not, or more than not, I'm leaning into what am I doing? Pardon me. In that mid-range roll, right? Because the majority of your rolls are going to be 2 to 5. The mid-range roll is where we all get beat. We all can make money on a 50 roller, but that 8 to 15 roller, a lot of us don't play that roll right. A lot of us play that roll too aggressively, and you walk away with nothing. And I think this is a way to say, look, on those mid rolls, target practice, same bet, same bet, same bet, same bet. If you get past the mid roll, the 15, 16, then maybe you can think about doing something crazy. But I think getting to your target and whacking that half a dozen times, that's not a bad way to play. Not a bad way to play. So I would love to have him on Craps Chat. The problem with John Patrick is that skill. He's got, let me go to the question screen. He's in ill health and doesn't have a computer. So all he's got is a cell phone, and it's really hard. He can't use Zoom. It's really hard to get the audio and all that kind of stuff to work. I don't think it would be a good quality show, but I would love to find a way to do that. Let's see. Skill says, why do I feel the need to go to home run instead of accelerating, but still bringing something back? This is what I'm talking about today, right? That's exactly the point here. Today's point was exactly what you're saying, which is you don't always have to go for the home run. I think on the monster shooter, right, the 20 plus, the 30 plus, if you want to be a home run hitter, then fine. There's ways to do that. We're going to talk tomorrow and the next day and Friday about ways to be a home run hitter. This is still hitting a home run. This is just, like I said, it's a target collect all the time. I think it's a fine way to play. A target collect and a single unit press. A target collect and go to half pressing is fine. Tomorrow we're going to go press collect in alternate rhythm, and you'll see that it makes more money, but it leaves a lot more out there and it takes a lot more to win. This one here is much more reliable. Reliability is a good thing, and I think you're a guy that would believe that too. Reliability is a good thing. And that's why I say same betting is not the worst thing. I don't think I don't know who says same bet is a loser. Same bettors will not win as much, right? Same bettors will not win as much as the pressers. However, on rolls that are less than 50, let's say 15 and less, the same bettor will almost always win, right? They'll almost always win more, the same bettor. Now, again, I'm taking the first 5 or 6 rolls out of it because you got to get higher bets, regress down, take a little bit of profit, whatever you're doing there. It's going to take you 6 rolls to get to where I just was. Your bets are set. You got some money in the rack. From roll 6 to roll 15, it's only talking about eight rolls. The same bettor will dominate those rolls over everybody else. Now, when it gets past roll 15, the same bettor is going to be in arrears. He's going to be behind everybody else. But that's okay because on pick a number. I don't know the percentage, but let's say on 10 out of 30 shooters, 1/3 of the shooters, the same bettor will make more money than the home run guys, right? The home run guys will make more money on those small percentage of shooters, but they're going to lose or be even on everybody else, where the same bettor is making money the whole time. There's no shame in that. And I want to make sure we call that out. I don't believe there's any shame in same betting. Some people do. I don't believe that there's shame in it. I think it's fine. It's fine, especially when you're a new player, and especially when your collections are meaningful. Like I said, go from 64 across, get them all looking like quarters, right? 96 across effectively, and start, or 108 across rather, and just start racking greens. Just rack greens all day long. Nothing wrong with racking green chips, especially when you're buying them for $300 or $500. Racking green chips adds up pretty quick. If you're a little higher and you're racking black chips on every hit, even better, man. I'm down there. 1 unit presses are super effective, right? But I wouldn't do that until I got the black chip. Like, let me get the black chip from every number, and then I'll start 1 unit pressing it. Like, I want to make sure that I'm always bringing in, once I get to my target level, I want to make sure I'm always bringing in at least that target before I start pressing up past that. Like, get that green chip first, then go and make it so it's a little single unit press. Anyway, that's it, guys. It's 8:48. I got to go. I got to work. I got to go to teach. So, yeah, thanks for hearing me ramble and hanging out and following along. I appreciate all of you. What do we have today for a crowd? 45 people today? Good. Hope the message was solid today. Hope you enjoyed the show and all that's going on. So tomorrow, back here again, we're going to do the same thing, same simulation, but I'm going to do press, then collect, press, then collect. We're going to get the bets higher, bigger payments, but it's going to take a lot more to get the wins, right? You'll see a lot less money going into the rack early. It's going to take the right sequence. You'll see that tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we'll do a little more aggressive press, collect. No shows on Thursday. I'm traveling Thursday. I'm getting my my tattoo finished up. I'm going to be in Salt Lake City, getting inked up on Thursday. So no shows Thursday, back on Friday, and we'll finish out the series. So that's it, everybody. You'll have a great rest of your Monday. Hope you have an awesome week. And I will see you all super soon. Bye. Have a good one.